Yo, what is going on? What's up, people? Welcome back to another episode of the O.O.C. Got the usual suspects in the house, and we even were able to bring Danny along tonight. You know, no cop topics, so I think he's like, yeah, I can come on tonight.
I just had to read the banner to see. Okay, he's clean.
What's up, Danny? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How about you?
Doing good. Shout out your channel since you're the only one that really has one.
Danny Graham, aka Comic Chat. You can find me Monday nights on Chaos Central with Nzo, Chris Knight, a few others. Time to time I pop it on this show with the fellas. And right now we're going through the Bad Batch Roundtable, which is kind of rough. And then on Sundays, 10 o'clock, you can catch me on Storms Live. So.
Absolutely. Roberto, where can they find you, sir?
They can find me laughing right now, reading what I'm reading in the back. You kill me, yo. But yes, you can find me here Wednesday nights, as y'all could see right now. You know, we have our few regulars who visit us every Wednesday, and we appreciate that and love that. Enough respect. Without you, we ain't nothing. We have the pleasure of having JG again and Mr. Danny Comic Chat. So it should be a good night.
Absolutely. JG, what about you, brother? Where can they find you?
What up, Tony?
What up, Tony? What up, geeky guy?
Dandelion,
eyes only. Thank you, guys. JG is muted, so when he comes back, he can talk. JG is gone.
Disappear for a minute.
It's okay. Everybody disappearing from the show tonight.
Texting him some death threats.
No, I'm trying to get some people in the chat.
Absolutely. Tweet it out, guys. Get some people up in here. Was appreciated, you know. Got some good topics for tonight, I think, you know, and actually got some funny stuff. Last time we was it last week or the week before? I can't remember, but I showed a funny video. These guys laugh. I actually have another one. It was last week?
I think
All right, good. So I got another one that had me dying when I seen it. So I'm gonna bring it up for you guys to watch and tell me what you think. Oh Lord. So I gotta find this crap now. Give me a second. I got a whole bunch of these videos on my MacBook just in case we do any topics. I have something here, you know, and then when I'm trying to play a video, I actually gotta search for it. So, okay, here it is. Check this out. Open. There we go.
Hi guys, it's Gerald Porschman here. You know, in 1861, the Dickens Beverage Company has been producing some of the best wines we have grown to love, including Chardonnays and sparkling wines. Hey, Frederick von Dickens has now introduced a brand new cider that's been around for years, but is gradually making an impact on the global market. And it started right here on the Gold Coast. Dickens is slowly winning the taste buds of millions of cider drinkers from right around the world. And after sampling just one glass, I was hooked. I knew the ciders have been around for a while, but I just couldn't wait for my girlfriend to try a Dickens cider. When she arrived home from work, I told her to close her eyes, and before she knew it, I surprised her with a Dickens cider. I'm sure that there are many men out there who know of a woman that may be suffering from a debilitating migraine that could really benefit from a Dickens cider. So I'm urging all men to turn to their womenfolk and ask, when was the last time they had a Dickens cider?
I can't begin my day until I've had a Dickens cider.
There's nothing better than waking up to a good old Dickens cider.
My girlfriend loves Dickens ciders. My sister came to stay with us for a month, and my husband couldn't go a day without a Dickens cider.
My girlfriend loves a Dickens cider.
My mum loves a Dickens cider.
Wow.
My sister loves to wake up in the morning with a Dickens cider.
I'm a bit young, but I would love to try it.
Okay.
Oh my Lord. When I seen that, bro, I was dying. I just thought that shit was so funny, man. That shit was hilarious. I believe I have another one too. You know what? Let me show this. I want to know what you guys would have done on this situation, all right? A little something before we get into some of the topics here. We bring up another one here. Because when I seen this, I was like, oh, hell to the freaking no. I was like, you must be out of your mind. Watch this shit.
I am in the liquor store to return. So you see, good policy goes a long way. They end up giving me $800 extra by mistake. And you know, I love my crew. Always have my jargon. So I am here to give back $800. Here, sir, count it. And what do you have to say? How good L'Oreal is? They made a mistake. What do you have to say to them?
You're the best customer ever.
They made a mistake because it was, you know, times and times we get tired and confused. So I brought them back $800 over change that they gave me. Do the good things and good things will follow.
Look.
Now, sorry, here's your change, ma'am. Here's a stack.
I'm going to say this. Their mistake, my blessing. I'm a holler. That's what I would do.
I feel you, JG. It's not even so much that she brought it back, but how did they end up giving her that? Like, what kind of... Sorry, we only have fives. What the fuck is that?
I mean, you go out to eat, they give you more than what you asked for. Do you bring it back? Hell no. You go home and you eat it.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't have brought it back.
Danny?
The police is saying, wow.
Oh, well, I get it. I would have to bring it back, but I'm telling you, if it's in another country, they ask for help.
Because you seen it was Canadian money, right?
If I go to Canada and they give me back $100, they are shit out of luck.
Facts.
I see how it balances out, you know, because what if you overpay? I don't hear them calling you back to say, sir, exactly. You gave us too much money. They're like giggling in the back. It's all for profits. So, you know, payback's a bitch. But that's a lot of bitches, yo.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Where I work at, where I'm at, yeah, I got to get that back. That can get me fired. But on another country?
All right, it makes sense that you would have to give it back there, right?
I'm trying to get on the boat.
How did somebody not get fired?
I'm trying to get on the boat.
Exactly.
If that was a bank,
$800 short in fives. How are you gonna fucking justify that?
What are you gonna say, Danny? If it was a bank, what?
Yeah, the bank, that person probably fired. But if it's somewhere like an apartment store.
It was a liquor store. She said it was a liquor store.
Liquor store? Oh,
yes.
It'll be okay.
Man, I would have.
It'll be okay.
I would have went back a week later and brought alcohol with the money they gave me back.
But you know, man, these surveillance systems they got now, they're so sophisticated, man. Mm-hmm. They can tell you exactly when the transaction happened. They may not get your name, but if you use a credit card, you screwed, bro. Because they can track that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
If you pay with cash, then you might be good, but they're gonna find out the time, the date. They're gonna line that up with that camera. And shoot. Oh yeah, they got out there with a New York Jets hat, Yankees hat on, in the hoodie. Ain't he been in here before? Yeah. What was on his credit card? Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Yep.
Well, what are the consequences for not giving it back though?
I don't know, man. That might be over here. You might be obtaining goods under false pretenses, maybe.
Really?
They maybe could do larceny if you knew it, man. Because you get in that car and you count or you put it in your wallet. Cause what I always do, I get change back. I put it in the wallet right there at the cash register. Because I don't want to be walking counting money. Because then when you get knocked over the head, if somebody look to see it's a large
Yep.
one. So if you looking
I
there, you
pulled
like,
that
oh,
right in my
whoa,
pocket
whoa,
with the
whoa,
receipt.
man, this $800. Whoa.
Uh-huh.
Now
And
they
I'll
say
be like,
$8.
oh shit, I know she gave me back too much, but hey, you have till I get to the door to let me know.
Well, I can tell
Yep.
I can tell you
Yep.
this: the 20-year-old, the 30-year-old Danny, they'd have been out of luck. They'd have been out of luck because back then I was hurting financially. Now,
And true, the times matter. True, the times matter.
I'd be
You're
like,
roughing it. That's like a blessing.
Yeah.
Facts.
You
I
heard
tell
my
you this,
prayers.
I ain't really roughing it right now, but I still taking that as a blessing. And I'm like Roberto. I'm looking at my like the change they giving me, and as I'm walking out the store, I'm like, if these motherfuckers don't say anything, I'm going to the alcohol store down.
So let me get this scenario: you go in the
Yeah.
store to get the new PlayStation, and let's just say you got $1,000 cash, and it's $800, and then they give you change back. It should be $200, but they give you like $400.
Mm-hmm.
You bouncing?
Yes.
He got that shit on discount.
Yes. I am.
Can't wait to call up the boys and let them know the discount he got.
Yes. So, okay, let me tell you something, right? And I tried to be nice. So I went to Burger King a couple of weeks ago, right? And I asked them because it was Whopper Wednesday, so the discount Whopper. So I asked them for a Whopper trio, but then I wanted just the extra burger, right? So I asked them, I said, can I get a Whopper trio with cheese, whatever, and then an extra burger? Now, it was a guy that was working there. He wasn't really knew what he was doing, right? Kind of knew. So he messed up the order and it came to like $20-something. And I'm like, wait a minute, why is it so much? Called the woman over. I explained to her, she fixed it, right? But when she fixed it, the debit said $3.70. So I said to her, it only says $3.70. And she was like, yeah, it's okay. So I only paid $3.70 for a trio and an extra burger when it should have been 17. Okay. I gave you the warning. I told you. I'm like, that's not correct. And she was like, no, let's do it.
You got a triple burger from Burger King?
I got a extra burger and the trio for $3.70.
The trio is like 3 pieces of patty on the burger?
No. The trio is the burger, fries, and drink.
Oh.
Yeah. So I got the burgers. I got the burgers, fries, and drink, and then another burger for $3.70.
If you tell them all bets are off. I tell you, I'm saying. If I tell you, I say, look, man, this ain't right. Yes, sir. It's $2.30. Okay, fuck you.
You know what I mean?
I tried to tell you. That's gonna be recorded. That's gonna be recorded when they play it back. But didn't he try to tell you? Yep. Okay.
I did, and you said it was okay. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting discount, So I took it as a blessing.
Yeah.
So that was yeah, go ahead, Danny.
Okay, now I'm like on a sneaker kick. I can't go into Hibbett's. Do I have a Hibbett's in Canada?
No.
What?
It's called Hibbett's. Hibbett.
No.
Hibbett Sporting Goods. Oh my God. I can't go in there because I have zero discipline with shoes now. Every time I go in there, I bought about 6-7 pair of shoes. And if they ever give me something,
that's what I'm saying.
I'll be like, okay, now this she'll say this. Yeah, okay, it's okay. All right.
Fine, you know what I mean? No
when
problem.
I put the box under the arm and I get in the truck, that's it.
Facts. 100%. Yep. So I'm saying you throw $800 my way?
All right, say, hey, man, this is a little bit too much. Oh, you good? Okay. All right.
Okay. Have a good one. There's no like, you sure? None of that. No, I said it. You said it's okay. Thank you.
I'll start speaking a different language. Arrivederci.
100%.
What did he say? Deuces, bitch. I'm out of here.
100%. So the first topic we had, and I'm going to let Roberto control it because it was his topic. We wanted to talk about mental health and the stigma it has in the Black community. So what were you thinking when you came up with that topic, Roberto?
Myself. Because there's no like memo or book that goes out there and tells you what the symptoms are of mental illness. You just think, it's just life, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. You just man up and deal with it, right? But there comes a point where at some time you start reflecting and saying, hold on, what's going on here? Something ain't right, because you're losing interest in things that you were very interested in. You're not really socializing anymore. The people you're around notice a change in you. There's certain things that you would just say, you know what, it's just a thing I'm going through. It's nothing big. I'll get over it. I don't need to see nobody. I don't need to take no drugs. But when you really reflect and see how many of the symptoms that you may fall under to consider yourself a depression or in a depressed state, I'm sure there's a lot of people, including myself. My sleep was affected. That's one of the symptoms. Mm-hmm. Lack of interest in things you're interested in. That's one of them. Now, you could fall under all, you could fall under some. I guess that's the degrees of depression. But if you don't take care of that, that turns into a pattern, no? Because we've seen some people who were hanging in the hood with us, chilling with us, and then they're way out in left field, and you're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
How did that happen? What happened?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to think that he fell under a lot of these categories, never spoke about it, never talked about it with his boys, and sure enough, we're all asking what happened to him.
So you
get an idea what I'm talking about, huh?
Yeah. Are you feeling like you're in a depression, or you're getting there? Or?
I was, only because through watching something on YouTube, I don't know what it was, something drew my attention, gained my interest to look into it a little deeper. And I said, hey, fuck, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. And I want to put an end to this because
I think.
Go ahead, Danny.
I think sometimes different illnesses mimic each other. You may think you have one thing because some of the conditions or some of the symptoms are so close, but it may be something totally off. And I give you an example. I think I'm going to speak a little bit for me and Nzo. This YouTube thing. When you first got on here, man, Nzo will tell you, we was on here for, 4 or 5 hours every night. I mean, energetic, talking. And then, man, guess what? About last year, maybe even a little bit longer. Hey, man. Hey, dog. Hey. Let's cut this shit down. Instead of three nights a week, let's do it one night a week, every show. And we don't do it like that. And when I get home, hey, I come in my man cave. I'm in now, man. I watch TV. I talk to the wife and stuff, but like hanging out with my boys. And I give you example. New Edition is gonna be in concert like next week. I was like, man, that'd be a cool thing, man. To see it's New Edition guy, Keith Sweat, and Tank. Like, man, that'd be a cool concert, man. Me and my guys, because we got a group, we collect watches and we got a little group. Man, let's go do that. Man, I'm like, man, I really want to get dressed, go there, deal with all them knuckleheads that gonna be there. Possibly expose myself to COVID or something. Do I really want to do that, or do I want to sit at the house and chill, or get on here and talk with y'all? I mean, so
most of us would want to be chilling like you, Danny.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but like
as you get older,
when you get, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if depression is just getting older. I mean, I don't have the.
But that's a little different. That's a little different because I've done that. I don't want to do that anymore. But when you're falling off to the point where, imagine you're not doing the shows anymore. Not even one night. You're not doing it anymore. That's not like you. This is something you love. You're passionate about. Yes, life gets in the way that you can't do it 4 nights, but at least you're giving it one night like I am Wednesday. I try to start my own thing, not because I don't want to do my own thing. I just feel that it would be too time consuming where I probably wouldn't enjoy it. And I want to do this because I enjoy it. Yeah. But imagine I stop it and Nzo's reaching out to me and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling it. He just lets it slide. I'm not feeling it about anything. So this is what I'm saying. You start gaining weight, starts affecting your health. starts affecting you in many ways. But if you don't acknowledge it and say, hey, I got to do something to get out of this habit or this state of mind, I just feel through repetition, you're messed up.
Yeah, I definitely believe that if you're feeling that way, or if anyone's feeling that way, they acknowledge it. That's the first step to getting it fixed. Because when I got in the military, I suffered from PTSD. And all I want to do is get out of bed, get on the couch, just sleep, leave me alone, get something to eat. And then it was one of my cousins, man, that he get me. He said, "Man, get your ass up and let's go." And he drugged me out of it. If it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'd have been, and he got me back on the right track. So, if you just sit there and give into it, like you said, Roberto, it'll get you. But you gotta make yourself. You gotta take that step, man, and be active and get your mind off of stuff. Because if you don't, man, it will swallow your asshole.
Yep.
That's because I was there, right? And like you said, I was at the point where I don't know what you did to change the way you were feeling, Roberto, but I personally didn't know how to do it. And then I had this rude awakening that was like, yo, I gotta get out of this. And when I had that snap moment, I never did what I was doing before. And I did everything I could to get out of the stuff that was keeping me in the depression, right? So I would go home from work. Like it would just feel like just going through the motions. Wake up, go to work, come home. But when I would
Something usually triggers it, right?
Yeah, when I would come home, my apartment would be completely black. The only light, even on like when I'd wake up on a Saturday, my blinds would be closed, everything would be dark. The only light you would ever see coming out of that room would have been my TV light because I'm watching TV, right? So I got to the point where I just didn't care about doing anything anymore. Like sitting at home watching TV, was perfect. That was fine for me at the time. And you don't realize that you're being hurtful to yourself by doing that. You know what I mean?
Well, this is a big issue now. Mental health is huge. There's so many, like...
You know why it's so huge, Roberto? Because pharmaceutical companies are getting rich off it. Because when you go to them, they want to give you a pill for everything. Pill for everything. And that's just ching, 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 ching. So some mental health, I believe, requires treatment, pills, whatever you want to do. But some, man, you can just be more active, read more books, just have your mind more, and I think that'll pull you out. I mean, I didn't take
just got to change your habits.
Yeah, I didn't take any pills when I first got initially. That helped me sleep. But I got these mind altering pills or this. What's the big thing now? People are taking. God, what's it called?
I think you're probably talking about the antidepressants, but I don't know the actual name for them. Yeah.
It's just, man, I don't want to take any medicine I don't have to take.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't want to take, and people were like, get therapy, maybe and I just felt that if I did get that kind of help, they would just try to drug me. You know what I mean? Like just throw these, here, take this, antidepressant that. And I didn't want to take any drugs, man. I didn't want to take them kind of pharmaceutical drugs.
Talking definitely helps.
Mm-hmm.
That helps.
Talking, admitting it,
talking, and doing things that you don't want to do, right? So let's say, your boy calls you up, say, hey, man, we going out, let's go do this. And you're like, nah, I'm cool. No, you got to force yourself to go out and do it because you may end up having a good time, right? And then once you start drinking,
distracting yourself from what's getting you there.
Exactly, right. Now,
boom,
you will.
Helps too.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. 100%.
That's an antidepressant there, buddy. That's an antidepressant right there, buddy.
Yes. The only problem is after you have that moment or that, fun or whatever, then you go back home and you're in the same place. Yeah. So it has to be a constant. You can't just do it one time and think that you're going to be okay, right? You have to constant. And I always say, if you can train your mind to be kind of, depressed in that, you can also train your mind to do things so that you're not depressed.
It'd be like DMX, man. He had 46 different girls in that. What you really want?
And he had really crappy pullout game because he had like 17 illegitimate kids.
Well, I don't give a shit about that. That's the hardest verse in rap, man. When you start naming off them females,
yeah.
It made them shits rhyme. I was like,
yeah.
That's a stroke of genius.
The only reason I wanted to bring this up is because now, more so than ever, it's okay to say, I have mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Before, you say
Big
that,
stigma.
and you're more or
Big
less
stigma.
putting yourself in a bubble and be expected to be treated different, right?
Especially your profession.
This is it.
Yeah.
And more times than not, your profession may be the cause. So do what you got to do, because you have more rights, more so now than ever before. If you're feeling like your work or your environment is shrinking on you, and you're contemplating stuff you never contemplated before, break those routines.
Mm-hmm.
Step out of it. There's somebody there, I'm sure, that is talking to you, and they're the only ones talking to you. You confide in them, and they will hopefully help you out of it.
And that's another thing too. First, before I get to the comic and I get to JG and Geeky Guy, Dandelion says on some token, some people really do need medication. That's okay. Absolutely, 100%. I know there's the people who need to have that medication, right? And if you need it and it helps you out, more power to you. But for me,
the start is getting there.
Yeah.
Like
I think we all said that at the beginning. You don't want to take it if you don't have to have it.
Right.
But a lot of these pharmaceutical and these doctors, they push it on you because it's gonna put money in their pockets. So that's what I'm saying.
And I think a lot of these doctors too, like when you have a hyperactive kid, it's right away ADHD. You know what I mean? We gotta get
so quick to put those letters on them, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Ritalin and all that stuff.
Yeah, man. What do you guys think?
Zombies. Yeah.
Yeah. So when a kid tell you, man, I don't like taking that because it makes me feel, that right there should be a red flag to you right there.
Absolutely. 100%.
Maybe I need to half the dose, or maybe I need to try something else. There's alternative medicines out there. I'm not saying, and we all kind of stuck, especially
marijuana.
Well, Denny.
Especially here in the United States, we all love that. Oh, it's been FDA approved. That ain't the end all be all. There are several different other kind of alternative medications that are just effective. You just got to try it and do your research before you do it.
Danny, but Danny, don't you think that it's better that people take medication that's more like scientifically proven to be more effective? Because the problem with alternative medicine is that none of them have been proven to be effective. Like there's no sufficient data on them.
I hear what you're saying, but there has been doctors and people dabbling in medication way before the FDA was approved, and people were still here, and people were still getting certain diseases fixed and certain herbs and all that kind of stuff out there. I mean, I don't know, but I'm saying if you're going to put something in your body, then you need to do the research, not just going on what somebody says. You do the research, and then you find out whether or not it works for you. Now, of course, you got to temper that with common sense. You go to your doctor and say, hey, look, man, I've been reading this, I've been seeing this, this, and this, and I read about this. And I give you, for instance, I've been taking metformin for years, but I've heard negative things about it. Now, there's this new medication. It just, instead of taking taking that every day, you take the shot once a week, but you increase it by certain millimeters. So hopefully, what my doctor said, and the research I did, if I can get to a certain level, I don't have to take that medicine at all. Just take that once. So I did my research, and hey, it seems to be less side effects than the metformin. So for me, I'm going to try that route, and hopefully I can get to the stage that I want to, and where I ain't going to take 2 or 3 pills. I can just take that one shot a week and still do that with watch my diet, watch my exercise. So it's a whole lot of stuff, because no one knows your body or your state of mind better than you do. So you have to do the research, and you have to do the due diligence, and you got to pound the pavement, whatever analogy you want to use. Yeah, science is good, but sometimes, hey, other stuff work. There's stuff out there. There's herbs. There's different stuff. There's alternate medication that I think is just as effective as well. But it's not. The reason it's not being pushed is because they didn't get money off of it.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. There's no reason I believe there's a cure for cancer. I believe that to my soul. There is a cure for cancer, but if they give everybody that got cancer, that's going to do 2 things. It's going to cut into their money, and it's going to make life expectancy longer, and
I freaking love you.
But Danny,
Yes,
Danny,
sir.
do you have any idea how wealthy you would be if you came up with a cure for cancer? Like you would be richer than God if you came up with a cure for
Yeah,
cancer.
but
Dude.
I disagree. I disagree because the way they make their money is longevity, right? So if you have a
Right.
cure for cancer and you're curing people with cancer, sooner or later, ain't nobody gonna have cancer, and you're just waiting for someone to get it to buy the medication. But if you have people and you have the medicines where you can help them live with it, you make way more money that way. And it's
yeah,
good that we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about this because I got this little thing to show real quick, and it's like, hold on, let me bring this up. And I had it for like a few weeks ago, and I ended up deleting it, right? But let's check this out.
I mean,
Hold on, let me
all I was
bring
trying
it
to
up
say
here.
is we just have to go. We just have to go with what the science says about certain medicines. And I do agree with Danny
No,
that you have to do your research first before you put something in your body.
no, and I agree with you
I don't think the
100%. You know what I
science
mean?
is the end all be all. What I'm saying though, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. That's what we're saying. Yeah. You gotta do what's best for you, but sometimes, the science may not be what's good for you, right? It may not be what you need. So what you end up doing is going looking someplace else for alternative methods. And with this video that I'm gonna show
It's kind
here,
of like I use this analogy. If you're a religious person and you believe in
if I can
God
find
created
it.
um, Adam and Eve, there's some people that believe in the Big Bang theory, where all of a sudden it was darkness and boom, there's an explosion and everything came to be. Then there's some people believe
That's
that
not how it worked.
I'm just saying there those that's one of the beliefs out there. And there's a third belief that we evolved from apes. Okay, I'm just saying now, if we evolved from apes, why aren't there more apes out there evolving now? So,
Danny,
so go
Danny,
ahead.
I'm
That's what I
sorry.
said.
That's not how evolution works.
I didn't say that's how evolution worked. I'm saying those are three. There are three things that's out there. I didn't say I believe them. I believe in the religious
Right,
thing. That's me. But I'm just saying those are three
right.
thought processes that
That
happen.
people
I
have.
don't know.
Hmm. Right, because a lot of people believe in the evolution, right, Danny? And
Yes,
Yeah, because
I
of the
don't
mountains
either.
of scientific
But
evidence.
I ain't saying that. I believe in God. So I mean, hey, but there's some
right,
people that believe in Big Bang theory. There's some people believe in evolution. There's some people believe in religious. So that's the same thing with medicine. Some people believe in
and
the science of it. Some believe in this alternative medicine. Some people believe that hey, if I pray hard enough and long enough, God's going to save me or
And
heal me.
mhm,
also,
and Danny, there's people out there believe that aliens created us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Hey.
but hold on, this is what I want to
This
bring up.
At the end of 6 months, miraculously, she survived the standard treatment, although there was a lot. Within a month, the cancer was widespread in her brain. We put her back on Brzezinski's. By the way, at the objections of our doctors, for some reason felt that it had failed her. We put her back on with.
okay, who was that guy? What's his name? And okay, I gotta read on that.
All I'm
He
gonna
said that his
say
daughter was so
is
toxic that her urine was like acid.
I
Wow.
mean, that's the
yes,
Yeah,
and
common
Danny,
side effect
yeah,
of
with that. Yeah.
chemotherapy, though. It's not. It's
I
This is
don't.
nothing
Yeah,
unique
but
to just his daughter. It's common.
that chemo is a motherfucker, and I
Mm-hmm.
promise you, I said if I ever get cancer, I will never do that treatment. I
Uh,
seen what it did to my mom. I will never do that treatment because
Fact.
chemo doesn't work. You know what I mean? It doesn't work. It's there, yes, it's supposed to help and this and that, but 90%, if not more, of the patients who go through chemo still end up passing away from the cancer. Now, there's some people where it has worked, right? Cancer went into remission, but their bodies have never been the same. Fuck that shit, man. There's no way I would never do that, man. I watch, you know, it it just my mom's hair went out, she was frail and everything, and I couldn't do it, right? And I will never forget, and I say this all the time, I will never forget when the doctor first told me that she had cancer. I was like, okay, so what does that mean? And he said, we don't cure cancer. Not that we can't cure cancer. He said, we don't cure cancer. That always stuck with me. Now, he may not have meant it that way, but the words, the way he said it to me, That's how I felt. I'm like, you motherfuckers probably have a cure for cancer, but don't want to give it. That's how I felt.
I know you got cancer treatment centers all over the United States, and
But that's like a Band-Aid, right?
Hey, Hanzo?
some places
Chemo,
don't.
yeah.
And I know what's the thing with the kids? St. Jude's. They
Mm-hmm.
care a lot.
Depending on what stage they're at, too. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The earlier you catch it, the better.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
hey, Hanzo?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you mind if I share my screen for a bit? Because I want to get your opinion on this.
Mm-hmm.
So there were scientists at Cuba who developed a vaccine for lung cancer, and it was shown to be pretty effective. Like, what's your opinion on this? Like, I just want to
Well,
get your sense on it.
the thing is, I've seen a lot of those things, right? But it never goes anywhere, right? I've seen. I'm gonna bring up another one too. Hold on. Now that you brought that one, I'm gonna bring up one too, because when I seen this, I was like, holy cow. And I know we were on like depression and stuff, but I think this all kind of comes into it because a lot of these things, cancer, all that, they affect your mental health, right? And I think that the government too wants to keep you in that mental state. They don't want you to get better, because if you get better, then that's no money for them. You know what I mean? So hold on, let me bring.
You mean no money for big pharma?
Big pharma, yeah, exactly.
Big money.
But here's the thing, Onzo. Big pharma is a private institution. They're motivated by profit.
Yeah,
they,
and
they fill the pockets of the politicians.
Right, and you get the profit by keeping people on Ritalin and all those drugs, right? That's how you get profit, by keeping people on that. And I think this is it.
Which is why I believe that our pharmaceutical institutions should be nationalized, because the difference is when the government handles the big pharma thing, there's no profit incentive there. But when we let greedy corporate assholes handle it, there's a profit incentive there.
Researchers have confirmed that a 50-year-old man in Germany was cured of HIV. The fifth person in history to be cured of the disease.
I think Magic Johnson.
How did he get cured?
I think Magic Johnson.
I do too.
In the commercials that they see over here is that they have medication out there that will make it so low, so hard to detect that even if you have intercourse with someone or that kind of stuff, or blood transfusion, that you can't get it. Now I talked to doctors over here, face to face, and they said that contracting disease mainly depends on how healthy an individual is. If an individual has a very strong immune system and is very healthy, they can sleep with somebody that possibly has not AIDS but HIV virus and not contract it. Now, having said that, someone that same HIV virus sleep with someone whose immune system isn't that well, then they're most likely to get it. But the doctor says a lot of it depends on how strong the individual's immune system is.
Right.
Interesting.
I agree with you. Yeah, Dandelion is coming. But I believe, like Danny said, I believe that Magic Johnson does have the cure. You know what I mean? I believe they gave it to him.
Oh my God.
It would make sense that this dude is still alive because
he got the money for it, and he contracted when it was first coming out. Everybody was scared. Either players even scared. They thought you could get it by sweat and stuff. Players didn't want to be on the same court with him. He was out when it first came, but look at him, man. Magic, shoot, heavier than me.
Right.
Looking
and
good. Like he never had like he ain't missed a beat.
Facts. David Quintana said HIV people are living longer. Living longer. How long has it been that way? Well, that's the thing. Yes, they are living longer, but that's my point, right? I feel like, we'll give them enough medications to make them live longer, but I honestly believe that they do have a cure for it. And yes, you're right, Dandelion. I didn't read the article, but I think the people that have been cured from it had bone marrow transplant.
I know a lot of kids, a lot of people, babies are being born now. They keep, I want to think the umbilical cord or something when they're first born, because like if they had contract disease and stuff, there's something in there that could help them. And I think they're keeping like the healthy bone marrow and stuff when they first. It's something I read somewhere, but I think it's the umbilical cord that they're keeping because it has nutrients and stuff in there, stem cells that could, if they was contracted later on in life, they could use that because it would be compatible with them. So I think a lot of that stuff is. I think this medication is holding off the HIV so it won't mutate into AIDS.
Right.
I think once you get
Yeah.
AIDS, I don't think there's no cure for that. But for HIV, I think there's something that kind of holds it at bay. Kind of like how the COVID vaccine kind of holds it back from like mutating to the one that kills you if you're not got underlying diseases. I think that medication does that. But I think once that mutates into AIDS and you got full blown AIDS, I don't think that there's no medication
You're
for
coming
that.
back from that, eh?
I could be wrong, but that's my understanding of it.
JG, you've been a little bit quiet. What are your thoughts, man?
No, I'm just like I said, I'm on these wisdom teeth medications and everything too. But yeah, man. We'll go back to depression. You know, it's a trivial thing. You know, and I think Danny alluded to it, which was talking to someone can really help a lot of things, right? You ever had went somewhere, sat down, and some random person starts talking to you for no apparent reason, and they tell you all the issues they're going through. After you speak with them, they're a lot happier. That's all a lot of people need. That I think that's one of the best cures for depression. Secondly, getting your butt up and doing something, being active. That also helps well. And of course, marijuana. Of course, no, that solves everything for me. But you know, in this science and all this stuff, my dad had prostate cancer and survived it, but the irradiation is what really hurt him. Because there's a chart, especially depending on your race and ethnicity.
Yep.
If you are of a certain complexion, like my dad, of course, black, you need more radiation to penetrate that skin.
Yeah.
And when it's too much radiation, it could damage the bladder, which happened to my father.
That is true.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, and he's been depressed and stuff on medication. I said, Dad, one thing about science, where they can't, and doctors and medicine, one thing they can't talk about is the human spirit and a person's will to survive.
Facts.
That will to survive can cure you.
Yep.
Facts.
Once you start getting depressed and thinking life's over, you start seeing people going downhill, going to nursing homes, just.
I think I read one time that Bob Marley was like playing tennis. I mean, not tennis, but soccer. Was just as lively. Went to the doctor, found out he had cancer. A few months later, dead.
Yeah.
I think his Rastafarian religion won't allow him to
take the
medication.
medication.
Something to take medication. Yeah.
And like you said about the will to live, right? Because when they diagnosed my mom with cancer, they told me she had 2 months to live, and she lived for a full year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She lived enough, you know, to watch my son grow up a little bit more, and she fought it as long as she could. And I know doctors, you know, they usually give that estimate, but they don't really know what's gonna happen. But you know what I mean? Like to say 2 months and then she lasted a full year, I was blessed.
They go by like the decline and stuff, and kind of use past things, but you really don't know. You can say, yeah, well, based on your decline of your health and this, that, and the other, 2 to 3 months. But man, some people live for years. I mean,
like my dad, for instance, the doctor told him
just got that dog
all these,
in him, bro.
Yeah, all this stuff they kept getting him, injecting him with stuff. He didn't think he's gonna live 3 more months. That was 10 years ago.
You see that, right?
Up,
so
what up, Abu Nas? How you doing, man? Glad to see you popping in. Much appreciated. And that's the thing, right? Like, I remember, and I think that me personally, because they wanted to put my mom in the hospital, and I was like, nope. I was like, I'm not doing that. We got a hospital bed and everything in the house, and I took care of her for that whole year. And I actually believe that if I had put her in the hospital, she would have died a lot sooner.
100.
You get that depression, and you don't
hospital
see people,
is where it starts.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember right before Christmas, right? She got really bad, right? She got really bad, and she was like, you know, sleeping, not eating, and everything. I went to the store. My aunts and everybody was there. So when I came back, the nurse had come, because the nurse would come and check on her every day. So the nurse had come and then left by the time I got there, right? So when I got there, my aunts and everybody was in a panic. They're like, oh, no. They said, you know, your mom might not have much time. She's got to go to the hospital. And I was like, no, she's not. If my mom is going to pass away, she's going to pass away here with us, right? It was like maybe a week before Christmas. And I'm like, I'm not putting my mom in the hospital before Christmas. I'm not going to have to drag my son up to the hospital every day to go see my mom and stuff like that. No, she's here. She's comfortable. If she passes away, she's going to pass away here in this house with us. Christmas Day, my mom wakes up and asks for food, right? No word of a lie. I could not believe it, right? And for at least about a month or two, she started to get a little bit of energy back. At one point, she couldn't really walk, but one night I'm sleeping and I hear this noise and I'm like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And she walked into the bathroom by herself. Usually I would wake up and take her to the bathroom, right? I'd carry her, whatever. And I'm like, don't do that because you might fall and hurt yourself, whatever. But she was trying to fight that and get her independence back. You know what I'm saying? And I remember we were chilling on the couch watching TV, and I told her what had happened to her. Hold on, Dandelion. I told her what happened, like before Christmas. And she was like, I can't believe that. She was like, I had no idea. And I can't believe that, I feel like a burden to you. And I was like, Mom, you could never be a burden to me. I would do this over and over again as many times as I had to do it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I was able to have some really good moments with her before she passed away. And I believe if I had put her in the hospital, I wouldn't have had those moments. So what's up, Dandelion? How you doing?
Hey,
I'm doing good.
Hey, Dandelion.
Every time you mention evolution, I just go, wait, no.
So go ahead, talk to us.
Okay, I'll give my evolution spiel because I've been saying I would for a while. Okay, we always hear about the evolutionary ladder, right? So people always think, humans, they're at the top, elephants are further down, bacteria are at the bottom. No, that is not how it works at all. Every single individual living creature is on its own ladder. And we're all on the same rung, right? It's like we're all on the same rung of ladder. Everything is always evolving. Nothing is more evolved than anything else. That's why I don't understand the whole calling black people monkeys. It makes no sense because they're not closely related any more so than like I'm just as closely related, right? There's no other people aren't lower on the ladder than other people. Like we're all equally evolved. Like bacteria have been around for the longest. They're the most evolved because they've been doing it for the longest. So it's not like why are there apes if we evolved from apes? These aren't the apes we evolved from. These are other apes that evolved congruently with us. Like at some distant point in the past, there may have been a common ancestor from which various primates evolved, but they all evolved. So current apes are also evolved, just as evolved as we are. They're just evolved differently, right? It's a really racist thing in a sense because white people invented evolution. They put themselves at the top, said we're the most evolved, but that's not true at all. Everything is equally evolved, just differently evolved. Makes sense?
So do you guys believe in evolution or God?
Evolution.
I believe in evolution, but I also believe in a variety of gods because I'm a polytheist.
Nzo, hold on, Dandelion. Nzo, you can still believe in both God and evolution. Like there are Christian scientists who believe that God created humans through evolution. It's not like it's mutually exclusive or anything.
There can be some greater spiritual force beyond us all.
But
and science still works.
If you read the Bible, Danny can tell you God created Adam and Eve. He didn't create monkeys to evolve to humans. He created the first humans, which are Adam and Eve. So you can't believe
I'm
either
not even
both.
Getting in this conversation.
Danny,
don't ask
Roberto.
Do not ask me shit about it because I'm not gonna keep my cool. So let's go ahead.
I don't know. I'm not Christian, so I can't really answer that one.
Neither am I. And Dandelion, I want to build off what you said before. You said that all animals are like on the same exact ladder. I don't. A more accurate.
Everybody's on their own ladder.
No. A more accurate representation would be to say that it's like a tree of life.
Yeah.
Because when living things evolve, they branch out like trees. So it's more like a tree of life.
Yes. a tree of ladders.
Yeah.
But if you say ladder, because people always talk about the evolutionary ladder and you're climbing the ladder, it's like, it's not a really good way of describing it.
But I personally, like I'm saying, if you read the Bible and you believe in that, it's either you believe in God and Him creating Adam and Eve, or you believe in evolution. You can't believe both.
Anzo,
it just doesn't work.
There are Christian scientists who accept evolution that believe that the story of Adam and Eve is just a metaphor. It's not meant to be taken literally.
Okay, but there are some that believe that it is not. And there's some that, if you read the Bible, it is Adam was created. He took a rib and created Eve, right? So where's evolution come in with that?
Well, have you ever considered that maybe the creation story is fucking bullshit?
Did you know that people used to be shorter than they are now?
Yeah.
Right? People are taller now. That's evolution.
The industrial revolution.
We're still evolving.
Yes.
We're not the same. We're not the same as those humans. Back then.
But that comes to with genetics, though. You know what I mean? Like people get taller, people get like shorter. You have people who are midgets. You have people. You know, so that's genetics.
We can say that?
Oh, cancel.
Hashtag cancel.
We're gonna get something thrown at us.
For me personally, religion is more about the set of morals you use to live your own life. It's not necessarily about
mental health. That's what I'm curious about. I'm looking at the headline, the topics. I'm like, I don't even see this shit.
It has often been warped in order to control people, and that's sort of the big failing I find with religion. Is it's been used to just control groups of people, right? If you're good your whole life, you go to heaven, right? Which gave like priests and I just unplugged my light. There we go, plugged it. Just a second. Hang on, there we go.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the next topic, anyways. But finish what you're saying.
Yeah, we don't want to give Danny up here a stroke.
No, I could.
Well, it's fine. I think that there can be extremely awesome benefits to having religion and having faith, right? Like it's an excellent way to know how to live your life and have a set of rules that lets you live life in a good way and interact with other people in a good way. It's often been used to oppress. It's been used to justify horrible things. To this day, it's used to justify horrible things, like things that are cruel and heartless and don't seem to actually go with the premises of most of these religions.
What's
right?
up, Saggy? Yes, but it's not all that, though, right? You can't just sit there and say religion is all, there to oppress people.
No, it's not, but it has been used for that.
Well,
it has often been used by people in power to oppress.
It has been, but
your life is shitty right now because I take all of your crops, but you get to go to heaven when you die, right?
But evolution also has been used to oppress people as well.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I was saying. Most of the ways we look at evolution, totally racist.
There you go.
I don't agree with that either.
Now, personally, I'm a believer in God, Christianity, but I also believe that things do evolve over time. Yeah. I want to speak with that kind of believes in both, but more so on the Christian side of it, if that makes any sense.
Grown Folk City. No, it was a sign that my toes are pulling on my outlet under the table.
Okay.
I don't think you can blame God for my toes pulling the light out of the wall.
Hey, Nzo, can I address Grown Folk City comments a little bit? Because if God wanted to communicate with Dandelion, why would he do it through a fucking light?
Hey,
I never met him. I wouldn't know.
First off, no telling how he will communicate with you. Because it could be.
I'm a polytheist, so I chat with gods all the time.
I feel you.
Hey, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. That's how you live your life. That's how you live your life. It's not me to judge.
Absolutely, 100%. Next topic we had was trans community. Do you think they disrespect straight people? And the reason why I have this is because I have this little video here, and I'll bring it up. if I can ever find it.
You mean actual trans people or just drag performers?
No, actual trans people.
Okay, because there's like a whole like world of difference between people who dress up in women's clothes versus people who are actually trans.
No, I don't consider people that dress up in women's clothes like real trans people. So especially when they're just doing it for like show. But this video,
I don't have a problem with the trans community at all, but this shit is getting ridiculous. If you say as a trans woman you want to be called her, she, whatever you decide, even though you are a trans woman, if you want to be called her, she, fine, I'm going to respect that, and I'm gonna do that. So me as a woman, if I say don't call me a cis woman, I'm just a woman. You should respect that. I'm not no motherfucking birthing person. I'm not a chest feeder. I'm not a bleeder. I'm a fucking woman. And that's what the fuck you're gonna refer to me as. And you cannot ask for respect while disrespecting women. And that's what the fuck we get for trying to be allies and shit. Look, now they just trying to wipe us the fuck out. Now look at us, looking stupid. Dumb shit.
I see that on a whole. Not just women, on a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, I keep saying, the bullied have become the bully. Maybe it's not the right people and they're using a platform. It is what it is. Everything is scrutinized, criticized.
Okay.
Can I?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, so all I have to say in response to that woman is, if you want to be addressed as just a woman and not a birthing person or a chest feed or whatever, okay, fine. I'll refer to you as such. I'm not going to be an asshole about it. However, what she has to understand is that the term birthing person was not invented, and the term cis woman was not invented as a derogatory term, as a pejorative term. It was invented just as a like descriptive term, if that makes sense. It was never meant to be derogatory or pejorative.
Isn't it how it's perceived from the person it's addressed to?
Yeah, but it is though.
Why?
Why do you?
I don't consider being called I'm not entirely a cis.
If I ask you not to call me that and you insist on calling me that, then there's a problem.
I think that's the whole point, though, right? If somebody wants to not be referred to as he or she, they want to be referred to as they. Sure, whatever. I don't care. I'll call you whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody doesn't want to be called cis, sure. I don't know why you're upset about it. It doesn't really mean anything other than you're a straight chick, right? So,
but
sure,
you see, the problem is,
like, I don't fuss about it. I don't put like call me she, her, or whatever on.
But the problem is, it's a label.
Profile. I don't care.
Hold on. Let Nzo finish, please. Let Nzo finish.
It's a label, though. Why are we labeling women as cis and stuff like that? Why do they have to have that? They're women. It's plain and simple. Like, you can identify, okay? You can identify as a woman if you want to. You can do your operations. You can do whatever you want to, but biology says that you are a man.
Okay. Gender is not the same as sex, for one.
Thank you.
Gender and sex, not the same thing. Okay, French language, okay? You've got a group, you refer to them as L. If it's all a group of women, it's L. If it's men,
and if
it's a group of men and women, il. You refer to them as in the male gender. Okay, table is female. Why?
But we already know
makes
that
a table female?
But we already know that the French language is kind of messed up when it comes to that.
But okay,
right?
it's the same idea. Okay, gender. So if somebody is wearing a dress, what makes a dress feminine, female? Nothing. It's a piece of clothing, right? It has no gender.
Okay, but hold on.
Gender is what we apply to something.
Just like you learn to walk, over repetition, you learn to walk naturally. If I grew up my whole life seeing women wearing skirts are for women. You can't make me think otherwise now because you don't want it to be that way.
No.
That's what I'm trying to say. Everything works in progression. This community,
what happened when
this
women started
subject.
wearing
Hold on,
skirts
Dandelion.
and
We
pants?
can't have an argument here. You spoke. Now I'm speaking. The platform regarding them always seems to be the aggressor because they're always accusing somebody of something, right? Am I wrong or right? It's always a subject. You said something, you did something, you're not following. It's always like a correction. Like we're not following the pace that they want to move at. Everybody learns at their own pace accordingly. If I'm coming out and saying I don't like them, then yes, I am anti. But because I don't go to the gay parade, does that make me anti?
No.
Does everybody have to go to the gay parade?
It's
called choice.
Yeah.
So if
I don't see very many instances though where someone insists on saying you're trans. Like I know trans people.
Why all of a sudden
they never insist on calling. Well, you wouldn't call me cis, but
from the get-go. I don't remember trans being offensive.
It's not.
Now trans has gone to another stage where we have to follow. And what's to say there's not going to be another stage after that, and another stage after that? Like, whose life are we living?
Do you know there's barely any trans people? There's barely any. And do you know that they're like they're so oppressed, like honest to God. Like they get like they're murdered more often than other people, they're beat up more often than other people. Like
100%.
they're not in a position of power. You know what happens?
Oh, yes,
someone
they are.
goes into a class and they're like, you know what? I don't really want to be called he or she. Can you just call me they? The teacher throws a giant fit, refuses, makes a big deal about it, and the person just wants to be called whatever they want to be called. And so they have to make a big frickin' deal about it because they're just being like, and then the whole community that's against this idea just goes up in arms and like starts passing frickin' laws that, I mean, some of the laws they're passing don't even affect a single person in their state. There is nobody in that situation. It seems to me that the only real issue people have with trans women is they're worried that they might find somebody with a penis attractive. That seems to be what it actually comes down to half the time.
That has nothing to do with board with their ways of thinking. You are anti.
Yes,
that's what it comes
that
down
is correct.
to. If you don't believe
100%.
or follow their method or their way of thinking, you're anti.
And I'm gonna prove it. Hold on, I'm gonna play this video. I got another one.
Would you rather smash the hottest trans woman in the world or the oldest woman in the world? Honestly, bro, the oldest woman in the world, because then I wouldn't be gay. Are you like, Chase, how dare you be transphobic?
Yes, actually, what the fuck do you mean?
Because if I had sex with a trans woman, I'd be having sex with a biological man, and I don't want to do that. Because I'd be gay if I had sex with a biological man.
That's not gay.
That's
And
gay.
I don't even shut the fuck up, actually. I mean, that's really hateful, bro.
She's not. Would technically be homosexual. A trans woman is a biological man. Sue me. It's true. You know what God said? It said he made them man and women. He made them man and woman. I just told you I'm not gay. I'll pass on that. Thanks, though. Who knew that stating biological facts would make people walk off the show?
Okay. Since this guy brought up biological facts, can you share my screen, please, Nzo? I want to show something. Because since you and him brought up biology, okay, I just want to remind you, Nzo, biologists have proven that transgender people, their brain chemistry and their brain patterns is just like the gender that they claim to be. They've done brain scans on trans people that prove this. So the entire reason why they identify as female, even though they were born in a male body, is because their brain chemistry is not in line with their genetics.
I don't understand your point. I'm not saying that's not the case. But you're still biology. You are a man, right?
They are, but their brain chemistry is more like that of the gender.
I have no problem with
that. That makes sense. We're not saying
but
they're not.
The problem is that they are trying to convince you 100% that they are women. Not only do they do that, I have a video. I don't have it. I had it of a trans woman talking about how her box is better than a regular woman because she don't bleed. This is the type of shit
there's
that we
always
get,
some
though.
people who are just like out of control. Most of these people just want to be left alone to live their own freaking life, do their own
ask
damn
the question.
Hold on, Roberto.
Why is
Hold on,
this
Roberto.
discussion even being had?
But hold on, Roberto. One more thing. Dandelion, you are correct, right? Most of them want to live their life. But what we see and what we get are the ones that are pushing the agenda. Those are the ones that are the loudest.
But those
and
are
that
the
is
ones
the problem.
getting platformed by the people who are against them. Right?
I mean,
that woman's against trans people. So she's bringing up some like obscure reference to like nobody's probably insisted on calling her personally cis. She's just heard of people being referred to as cis women, and she's going off on a rant for TikTok views.
So why are you saying she's against trans women when she never said that in her video?
Well, it's just she's
Because
just
you're
trying to
perceived that way right off the bat. If you're not on the same
You're
wave.
perceiving that, and she never said that.
It's
She said
always
if you
that
want-
way.
She
It's
said in the
always that
video,
way.
if you want to be called this or that, I will do that. I will respect your opinion. She
And I
said
got the
that.
same thing
So
for her.
she's
I'll
not-
call her whatever
so
she wants.
Right, but she's obviously not against it. But you have the same mindset that they have, where they watch a video like that and say she's transphobic because of the things she said.
No, I
They
don't
called-
think she's necessarily transphobic.
They called this man in the second video transphobic because he said he would rather sleep with an older woman than a trans woman. And I
It doesn't
agree
make
with
him
him.
gay, but sure.
But I agree with him.
Is he
though.
not allowed because he thinks this way? If he went out there and preached it and tried to get people to follow his way of thinking, I can understand. But the guy has the right to speak his mind. He's not offending anyone in particular. He's just saying, I'd rather sleep with an older woman than sleep with a guy. If she has the full sex change,
I feel like I missed part of his. I feel like that whole thing going on with the guy, there was more to it than just what he said there. I didn't. I mean, I'd have to see that whole.
who got all vulgar and violent? Was it him or was it her?
Well, she just got walked out. But
did you see the words she chose to use on him when he's talking like with a smile? And is he maybe he's being
like I said, there could have been more to it.
My point being is because he's not on the same wavelength, he's anti. He's not allowed to have his own thoughts.
Well, he can have his own opinion, and he obviously is anti. But
it's just that we have also.
Okay, so wait. Why is that anti?
Because he didn't want to sleep with a transgender.
Because it's not.
Because he has an opinion why he doesn't want to sleep with a transgender.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Well, there's
but,
obviously a reason
he's allowed
why.
He's allowed to not want to sleep with a trans woman. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But a trans woman is a woman. Generally speaking, yes. Sex, perhaps not. But their gender, they're a woman.
Okay.
Okay, and that's all they're saying is
But if a transgender woman comes up to me and says hi, I say hi. I respect you as a woman. Do you want to sleep with me? No.
That's fine.
Why not? The minute you ask me why not, you have to accept my answer, whether it's what you want to hear or not.
Of course.
You had no reason to ask me why not, just like I'm sure the reason he had to blurt out that he would rather sleep with an older lady because it's gay to sleep with a transgender is because the question was posed. Why? Why would you rather sleep with an old lady? He said why. He didn't say I hate transgenders.
I don't have a problem with his answer myself.
He just but that's what caused all the friction. His answer and his explanation of his answer.
Like I said, I think there was more to that conversation than just that, but
okay, but
again,
there could have been because it's a clip, right? So it's a clip from maybe a 2-hour interview that they had.
Exactly.
I didn't watch that.
So
I found the clip, but either or,
we can only go off of what we saw.
Right, and she called him a transphobe because of what he said, right? Because he said he didn't want to sleep with a trans.
That's not why. She called him a transphobe because he wouldn't say that because she wouldn't say that a trans woman is a woman. That was the issue, not that he wouldn't sleep with her. Him wanting, what? There's lots of people that I don't want to sleep with. Lots of dudes I don't want to sleep with. Lots of women I don't want to sleep with.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of reasons. Being trans wouldn't be one of them, but
if he's a woman, then what am I? Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, you said, okay, you said sex and gender are two different things, right?
Absolutely.
But that gender, regardless of whether you change it, you're still a man. You still have the X chromosomes, or I think the X is the male chromosome. You still have that in your blood. You are a man. You cannot.
But their brain chemistry is not in line with their chromosomes.
I don't care
we're
about
not having
what their brain chemistry is.
We're not having the same
you know what I mean?
I'm telling you
sex
about
in the VR.
Right, I'm
we're
telling
sexing
you
in real
about
life, and when we pull down the drawers,
can I ask
your brain has nothing to do with it.
Geeky guy crazy question.
You sure can. Daddy.
Go ahead.
How about this? They do a experiment in my brain waves, thinking I'm a white man.
Hold on. Okay, that's not the same thing at all.
Why not?
Why not?
Because there's no specific brain chemistry for white people.
Yeah, race is like a construct as well.
Thank you. There is no specific brain chemistry for a white person. There's only brain chemistry for male and female. That's it.
I think
yeah, go ahead.
I think the big thing is this. You are a trans person, whether trans woman or trans male. Whatever your brainwaves are thinking, you were once the opposite of what you're saying you are now. So me as a man, knowing you are trans, I can't get past you used to be a man physically or biologically, whatever you want to call it. So therefore, I cannot be with you now because you were at one point a man, regardless of what kind of brain patterns, chemistry you have.
Relax.
If they can't accept that,
that isn't the problem. That is fine. That's not a problem. You don't want to be with someone who had a penis or has a penis. That's understandable.
That's fine, JG. There's
so
nothing wrong
what's
with
the issue? That's what we're trying to figure out. Why is it big deal?
The issue is not just going, I can accept that you're a woman, you're just not one I'm interested in. That's it.
Then ignore what they're going to ask you. Or why not? Or why not? Then it has to go even further.
I don't need to know why not. I don't want to sleep with people. I'm not going to explain to every single one of them why not.
And
it's messed up.
That's how people get called out because they get posed a question and they don't like the answer.
Exactly.
They're not getting upset by the same thing you think they're getting upset by.
Well, yes, they are because I hate the fact that we're having this conversation now because I had another video, a TikTok video, where there's a woman out there says that if you don't sleep with a trans woman, you're transphobic.
And she's wrong.
I thought she's wrong. I don't agree with that.
But the point is, a lot of them think that way. She's not the only one.
There aren't even a lot of them.
I don't agree with
but
it
you
either.
but you can find a lot of people
Google,
who think that way. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I don't agree with those people
who think that way. That if you're not going to do it, you're transphobic. This is what you don't want, right? And I will say it. Listen, you can say about brainwaves or whatever. There are two genders, male and female.
There's two sexes. There's two sexes. And actually, there aren't even two sexes because there can be all kinds of variations on that.
Oh, Lord. I'm not going to that right.
I'll start. It's been documented.
Let's not go there.
I'll start because I don't know, was there a shift?
No, these people have always been around. It's not new.
I know they have dandelions.
They've been around forever and ever and ever. And
look, when I was younger, there used to be a club downtown where they used to have trans. They used to do trans shows, okay? And guys used to go down there and wait after the club and beat them after the club. Now, do I agree with that? Hell no. Hell no. If that's not what you roll in, then don't pay attention to it. That should apply to everybody. But now it appears that because it's the norm, if you're a part of that society, you're already anti because you're brainwashed to think like that. Like you can't accept this new transition of how times are. But we are slowly, I had a problem with seeing hands being held and stuff. I used to point it out, look, laugh, whatever. I don't do that anymore because it's becoming more the norm, right? But if we're not moving at the pace or agreeing at the conversations that are being had on a platform, you're automatically anti. And with the algorithms and everything, But what we think and what is two different things. I'm not the only one who thinks that way, and I'm a little old in my thoughts. I'm born in 65. Times are different, way different. And I have to understand because that's the way it is. No. I have a mind that, I like to think I'm grounded. I don't have to accept everything. Choice applies to everything.
Absolutely.
I have a choice. And because I choose A over B doesn't make me anti-B.
No.
But that's what this topic is. More times.
What I'm trying to just explain is that there's always people who are going to take things too far. It happens with every topic. Not like topics here, but
not like this one.
Yeah, I just think a lot of it is like the people who are anti tend to platform the extremes because if it was just the regular everyday person who's like, you know what, I was born with a penis, but I'm not a man. I'm not a man. I feel like having this is gross. I'm not in this, but like you're a man, you're a man, right? It's not just I have a penis, I'm a man. You feel, in you that you're a man, right? It's the same with me. Like I know I'm a female, I'm a woman, I know it. I mean, no, I can't have babies anymore, and I never had babies anyway, but I guess I couldn't have because I never did, but
like Danny would say, you have a
good idea on your part.
But say that you have that sense that you're a man, right? You've got that feeling about you. Now imagine you don't have a penis, but you have that same strong feeling. Like you're a man, but you've got a vagina. Or you have both or whatever.
So here's a video I'm gonna show, right? Because we were talking about identifying as a white man. Watch this video.
Oh my fucking God. I've seen this video. I've actually seen it.
He goes to school, plays video games, even listens to music in his room. But there's one difference.
I'm a 35-year-old white man.
Harrison, born Antoine
Look in the mirror.
Has transracial identity, identifying as Harrison Booth, a 35-year-old white man from Colorado.
And when did you know that you were a 35-year-old white man?
Well, I've always felt different. I go to the store, the movies, and just be thinking to myself, like, why am I not getting the respect I deserve? And then it just hit me.
Is this a skit or what?
Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Oh,
shit, that's funny.
Saw the old San Juan mountain range, but the job's just here.
But it's to the point where it's to the point because remember we showed the clip with a dude who identified as an alien, right, or a lizard or whatever. Remember, Roberto? And then
that was fucked up.
Right. So it's kind of messed up to be like, and I think too, people are making fun of it as well, right? You know what I mean? That's how they're doing that by making little like smart ass jokes. I think you can identify as whatever you want to, but I think there's a point where it goes a little bit too far. That's my issue,
13-year-old
right?
girl can identify herself as a 40-year-old man,
and again,
and it's accepted.
Maybe some of them are just trying to like bring more awareness to the subject, so that people like us sit around and like talk about it and like try to understand or whatever. Again, gender and sex are not the same thing. Gender is just the sense of like gender is something we like create, right? It's sort of like boys wear blue and girls wear pink, right? Dresses in and of themselves are not female. Like women didn't used to be able to wear pants. Nobody questions a woman wearing pants now. Well, not in this country anyway, or these countries.
Question men wearing skirts.
Right? So, we used to think that it was like man's clothing, and women would be arrested for dressing in men's clothing. Like arrested and put in prison because they wore a pair of pants.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that wasn't cool then.
And Dandelion, what I want to add to what you just said is that what we consider masculine or feminine clothing changes over time.
Absolutely.
Because 300 years ago in the 18th century, it was considered masculine for men to wear pantyhoses and high heels and wigs. Like back then, that's what was considered masculine.
Look at Louis XIV's, man. Look at those heels he was sporting.
Yeah. Like the way our founding fathers in this country or in the United States dressed, that was considered masculine back then.
Yeah, if somebody walked around like that now, they'd probably get beat up by those trans haters.
Thank you. Yes.
Right? But yeah, like this is the whole thing. Clothing, what we consider male or female, it used to be like not even that long ago. It was that blue was a girl color and pink was a boy color because it was a shade of red, which was hot and fiery. So it was masculine.
What? I never.
Back in the like in the 1900s, like in the early 1900s, late.
Okay, that's way before us.
Yeah,
I can't
Of course it was way before us. But there's just so much more. Like I mean, we always, you know. But then look at some other cultures. Men wear like robe type things, or like big long tunics and stuff like that. We don't consider them to be less manly. Black Panther wore a big long dress in the movie.
We're not that harsh to discriminate, but it could be mocked, made fun of. It's good material.
Well, depends. It's a shitty looking dress. Like, I used to have a guy friend, and he was very, very masculine. He was straight and all that. He just liked wearing skirts because he thought they were comfy. They let his junk flow free, right? Let some air flow in. But he didn't wear good skirts. They were like not attractive.
He wouldn't have felt very manly if he did that shit around us. Maybe now it's accepted and it's okay.
Hey, Dandelion.
Back in the day.
Dandelion, since you brought up choice of clothing, I just want to point out that I highly doubt that people who are anti-trans and conservative believe that gender is biological either, because then they make up some philosophical rules on how men should behave, that, a man should behave like this, a man should behave like that. I mean, do you not remember when Harry Styles wore a dress for like one magazine cover and everyone said that he wasn't a real man because of the way that he dressed?
Yeah. I think it says more about them than him, but sure.
So here's the issue, right? You can say what you want to, but that's the thing that they do, right? Why does he have to wear a dress? If you're not wearing a dress in your real life, why do you need to wear one for a photo shoot? That's my point. If that's the way,
he's a celebrity, dude. He's just being edgy.
It's not about being edgy. It's not about being a celebrity. It's about pushing an agenda. That's what it is, 100%. Because
only if you think that's what it is.
You go look at,
and it's the opposite if you don't. That's just the way life is.
Look at the Jonathan Majors one. We had the same argument last week. Why can't he just be? And then when I went to go see Creed. Right, watch the red carpet. He's up there in a nice suit and everything, looking sharp, but yet he's doing a photo shoot wearing pink and wearing like girly type of boots and shit like that. Why is that? If that's not what you're wearing in your real life, then why is it that you're doing it for a photo shoot? And I will tell you what, because we had a video on it a few weeks ago where someone in the industry, can't remember who it was, but they're like, that's how they get you. They come in with the wardrobe and be like, here, we have this for you. And if you wear it, they know you're ready. That's exactly.
They probably paid them good money, don't they? Probably paid
them
good
right.
Money. Like Nzo,
it's not about the blue or the red; it's about the green.
Hold on, Nzo. Hey, Nzo, I don't know about you, but if someone told me that they were going to pay me $1 million just to wear a dress for a magazine, I'd
absolutely do that not. I said it last week, and I will say it again. Absolutely not.
And that's fine.
I will not do it.
You don't have to. But if some other person wants to, I don't care what someone wears. They can wear whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want.
And it doesn't make a person more or less manly for having done so.
No,
they're not more manly. They're not less manly.
But it's giving an impression when you go with that.
Then
you go. Hold on. When you go with that, then you go with the way we are portrayed in movies. Then you go with this and that. It all adds up to a certain thing where it's like, yo, why? What happened to the man's man? What happened to that guy, right? Why is now everybody have to be in touch with their feminine side? It's great to be able to do that. You can have that. But I think what they're doing is they are completely erasing the masculinity, man, because everybody has to have this feminine trait now. Right?
Nzo, what we consider masculine changes over time. It doesn't stay consistent over.
No, it never evolved from a man in a suit to a dress. It must have been prior to me, and it's happening now. I don't recall it in life ever seeing that. You either
That's what
wore
I'm
bell
saying.
bottoms or you wore tight fit. There was no skirt.
Roberto,
There was no
men
skirt. I'm
just
sorry.
200 years ago wore fucking pantyhoses, and we consider that.
But that's what they did back then. I'm telling you, during my lifetime, there has not been a shift where skirts were accepted on men. Unless you were Scotland, you were wearing it in a kilt reason. There was no men walking in skirts. None.
And you see, this is the thing. Rogue brought up this too, and it's good that you brought up because you reminded me. He said you saw what Earth, Wind, and Fire and Parliament Funkadelic would wear, and absolutely 100%. And growing up, other than what we seen them wear, I have never seen a black man actually wear that shit.
On the streets, where?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Maybe
saying.
Halloween.
Going out, partying. My dad would dress up, suit, tie, everything, but I never once ever seen him say, "Hey, let me go put on that Earth, Wind, and Fire suit."
Frankly, I don't care what people wear. They can wear whatever they want. I'm not going to think some more or less of someone from what they're wearing, and it doesn't take away from me.
I'd like
if
to ask
somebody
you
else
guys
dresses a certain way.
Go ahead, Roberto.
Roberto, just ask it real quick because I actually have to hop off because I gotta drive my sister.
Do you believe in abnormal?
Abnormal?
Abnormal. You know, there's normal, abnormal.
Abnormal. Yeah, I get what you mean.
I know you're gonna correct me. You've been doing it all night, but go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do believe in abnormal, considering what our standard of abnormal, what we consider abnormal.
I don't know if we're on the same standard though.
Yeah, exactly. Like
standards.
your standard normal, my standard normal, they may be different.
Because I think that's like slowly disappearing. Normality, it applies to everything now. You can't say that's not normal anymore because you have to accept everything. If that guy wants to wear a skirt, it's okay. If that 600-pound woman wants to wear an outfit that belongs on a 60-pound woman, that's okay. They want to paint their hair pink, yellow, green, and polka dots coming out of the back of their head. That's okay, because everything's okay now. That's the world we live in.
Okay, but then again, I like I said, you and I both admitted our standards of normality.
I know, and I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. We come from different eras. You're still new to this. You're young. It's kind of hard for me going through almost 50 years of life a certain way, and then whoop, you want to flip it upside down and say this is normal. It doesn't apply. It never will.
Hey Roberto. I bet the generation that grew up before you said the same thing about you.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did, and it continued because that was considered normal. It's not normal anymore.
And that's what I said a few weeks ago. It's like every generation something changes, and the reason why it does is because they get to the kids. They get the kids to thinking a certain way, and those kids grow up thinking a certain way, right? It's happened in every single generation. In our generation, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, gay people this, gay people that, right? Then it became my son's generation more acceptable. Right. So every generation, it comes more unacceptable because it's harder to convince the older people to feel a certain way. But if you get the kids, they're going to grow up older thinking that way.
I'm not trying to change the way my kids
Who do you think got this agenda? Who do you think?
It's not even an agenda. It's just evolution. And I'm not trying to change it. I'm not trying to tell my kids, no, you got to think like the way I thought, the way we thought for generations and generations. Okay. That's a little prehistoric, but at the same time, don't expect dad, you got to accept this, and dad, you got to accept. No, I don't. Yeah. Give me time. Maybe I will, but I don't have to accept shit. That's the generation I'm from.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Politely speaking, Dandelion.
Hey Nzo, before I hop off, I just want to say, what was I going to say? When I grew up, because I grew up in Middle Eastern culture, I grew up believing that being gay was a normal and that being transgender was a normal. My parents raised me to think that way. However, when I started doing my own research into this stuff, I started to realize that it wasn't as abnormal as I was raised to think it is. So, don't you think that maybe kids will grow up to make their own conclusions?
Yes, and that's what we're saying, and we're not going to try and change that.
Right
now your generation is going to teach your kids to think a certain way, but your kids are going to have their own way of thinking. Hopefully it's somewhat near your way of thinking and not
And
remotely off. You know what I mean?
And if there's one thing we can say is that media, social media, TV, and all that stuff has a big influence on the way kids think and grow up, right? So if they're being pushed that stuff all the time, then they're going to think a certain way. This is
Because they're
what I'm saying.
sponges. They're
Right.
sponges.
They're going to
Yeah.
think a
Soaking
certain
up.
way. But for an older generation like me, Roberto, Danny, whatever, who grew up thinking a certain way different than that, it's not
Notice we didn't
quite as
include you,
easy.
Dandelion. You
Pardon me?
Now,
I know. Hold on. No. I know for you, but you're more of the free willed, yes, this type of thing. But we
I know.
kinda,
I'm a hippie. What can I say?
right? We kind of
Nothing
think
wrong
a
with that,
certain
Dandelion.
way from growing up. You know what I mean? So it's harder for us to be just like, okay, yes, I'm gonna accept that, because it seems like every month there's a new word, right? I didn't know what a Sith was until like maybe 3 or 4 months ago. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, where are these words coming from? Where's all this stuff coming from all of a sudden? But we got one more topic to get into before we.
Yeah,
anyways,
that
just
damn
want to
capping
say.
shit. Still
Anyways,
Yeah.
I just want to say it was fun. It was fun being on here. It was fun being on here. I had a lot of fun discussing this with you, and I'll probably be back on next week. Hopefully, the next topic is going to be something police related, because I'd like to see how Danny loses his shit over that.
I won't be on here.
No, we ain't talking no police stuff tonight. Peace out.
Anyways, bye. Have a nice day, guys.
The next one was actually.
Hey, bees, I didn't see you were there. Hello.
It's okay. What's up, Sagi? So the next topic was actually something Donnie brought to my attention, and I'll bring up the video. I have it here. It's Dr. Umar Johnson. So if you know Umar Johnson, you kind of know where he stands on certain things.
Yep.
So let me bring up the topic real quick.
Thank you, grown folks.
Much appreciated.
That other white men genuinely do not want. You don't get the top of the line white women. You don't. You get leftovers. Look at most of our celebrities. They did not marry women who came from the richest white families. Black money and white money don't behave the same. New black money will jump on any poor white girl and make her a billionaire, Tiger Woods. Rich white woman, rich white money doesn't operate that way, you see.
Can I ask you something, Dr. Umar? For you, have you ever seen an interracial relationship that was acceptable for you?
No interracial relationship is acceptable because we have too many black women who are unmarried. Black women are the largest population on the planet Earth. If you can't find one in America, get it from Africa. If you can't get it from Africa, go to the Caribbean, go to Canada, go to Europe. Why would a black man need to copulate, build a family with anything other than a black woman when you have so many black women available? It is an exercise in self-hatred. There's no way to get around it.
Can't you just love whoever you want? I mean, sorry, my brother-in-law's like not white. He's married to my sister.
I don't know where he get that number about black women are the largest population on the planet. I don't know where he get that from.
Dr. Umar, well, he considers himself Pan-African, right? So he's the type of guy who thinks that blacks should stay with blacks and stuff like that, right? But the more the point was his first part of it, where he says that, and you can see it on all time, like people make little memes of it. They say when a black man dates a white woman, they get the ugliest one or whatever, but they say when a white man gets a black woman, he gets the hottest one. What do you think about that? I know you've seen the memes. Roberto, I know you've seen the memes.
It's been true more than it's been right more than wrong. I'll say what I'll say.
I know you see the memes, Roberto. What do you think? And then Danny.
So let them go before me, please.
All right, Danny, go ahead.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, in some cases it is. I've seen some. I've been in an interracial relationship for 27 years. I think my wife was hot as fuck when I married her. I think she's still fine now. But I've seen some that have some that marry some damn bog beasts, and I've seen some that marry some fine ass ones. I mean, and I've seen the same thing. Some white guys, ugly ass black women, and I've seen some white guys with some fine ass ones. So I just think it's whatever attracts you to, and I give you for example. What was it, iced tea and cocoa?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Wait, was it on a financial thing or is it looks?
I think it was before that.
No, but is he saying that they only go after poor white women?
He's saying that
ugly
basically whatever white woman that's attracted to a black man is a white man's hand me down or somebody you don't want.
Hell no, my wife is stunning too, man.
Yeah, I mean,
She is. I've seen her pictures on Instagram.
That ain't
Thank
true.
you, Dandelion.
I think with it, and I've researched this because when I got married 27 years ago, no preacher would marry us, black or white. I looked in the Bible, and the Bible talks about being unevenly yoked, and that means like my understanding of it is that if you are a Christian and a non-believer, then you are unevenly yoked because you got two different beliefs, or you believe in Christianity and the other one believes in Catholicism. That ain't gonna work. So it means if you have a black man or a Hispanic man or whatever the woman, whatever nationality is, if y'all got the same religious beliefs, same morals and that kind of stuff, it's more likely it's going to work. It's not a guarantee. But if you are an atheist and I'm a Christian, there ain't no way that's going to work because it's going to be too far apart. So the unevenly yoked is what I get out of that. And when I went to black and white, preachers, priests, whatever, would not marry us. We had to go to the justice of the peace. So I don't think I got anybody hand me downs. I got the person that I love. She was attracted to me. I'm attracted to her. So I don't believe in this notion that the black woman there are more black women on the planet than any other. I don't believe that. Last time I checked, Caucasians outnumber us almost damn near 3-1. So I don't understand where he get that fact from. It sounds like he's doing a lot of talking, not a lot of research. And
I think he was just talking about single white women. Or single black women. Is that what he was talking about?
I'm actually not sure that's the case anymore, Danny. And trust me, this guy, Dr. Umar, yeah, he may talk a lot of shit, but he does his research. He does research. Like he's like a real.
You think there's more black women on the planet than white women?
No, he was saying there's more single black women around.
Yeah, I think it's more single black women.
Yeah,
that's not what he said.
I was thinking he was saying you should be able to find a black woman to marry. You don't need to marry a white woman.
And also consider the non-white women who aren't black, but they're not white. So you got to throw that in there as well. So he's kind of right on the money, but as far as
Dandelion said, love who loves you.
He's on the money for us. What, JG?
Chances are you're not going to find that love.
Frankly, I think he might more interracial relationships so that we can get rid of all this like excessive race nonsense. Once everybody gets all mixed together a bit more, take care of half the problems.
Yeah. What were you saying, JG?
I was saying he might have been right on the money as far as more black women as opposed to white women in regards of non-white women, if that makes any sense. That's what I was saying.
Right, because there's definitely a statistic that black women are have the highest divorce rate out of any race. That is a statistic. That is absolutely a fact. So
I'm not doubting that, but I'm saying, and I know what people are going to say what I'm about to say, but it ain't true. In a lot of cases that I've seen with black women and all women, but I come from black women raised me. I hear the conversation they say, man, he ain't about nothing. He ain't gonna do nothing. He gonna do this. I can do bad ball by myself. And I'm not saying that's every black woman. Don't come here and say, Danny Graham will say, no, I'm not. I'm just telling you, I've heard that a lot of times with my sisters, my aunts, mothers, and I've heard that conversation. And I've lived on the other side of the fence for 27 years, and I'm telling you, it's different. It is completely different. Shit I've seen firsthand. I'm like, how the fuck did that happen? Or where did that come from? I didn't see on this side.
I think that might just be like a woman-man thing there, where I know a lot of times when there's been a divorce, the man will remarry really quickly, but the woman will be like, no, I'm sick of taking care of a person. I just want my space to myself. Take care of my own stuff. I don't want to have to pick up after somebody else. because a lot of like the domestic stuff still falls on women, even in a fairly like equitable relationship.
Not
And so I think
mine.
a lot of times people are just like, yeah, I don't need something extra to take care of. I already got children to take care of. I don't need to take care of a man too.
Right. I have never agreed with his statement, about, and that too, we had a topic of that. Like, can you be pro black and still, date outside your race? And I think yes, you can. You still can be pro
Yeah.
black. 100%. You can still be pro black. You date whoever, it does. Yo, man, you date whatever. It's about the person. It has nothing to do with a person's skin color.
I
A
don't know if
skin
you can be
color
pro
has.
black and be outside your race now. I don't know about that.
Why not, Danny? Let me hear your
I
thoughts on
just
that.
don't know. Pro black mean you. That's it. That you rocking with that, bro. It's just like you can't be a Dallas Cowboy fan and wear Pittsburgh Steelers under the damn under the jersey. That ain't gonna work.
It's funny how you make reference to those two teams, Daddy.
I know,
what are you
right?
talking about?
I'm just saying. That's kind of hard
Oh,
to me, man.
shit.
I don't know. I have to think on that, man. But if you pro black and you wearing got the fist up and you got the pick in the afro and that kind of stuff, and then I don't know.
You see, I think that being pro black doesn't really have. I hear what you're saying 100%, and I agree with you, but I don't think it has to do with like who you fall in love with, right? I personally think it as, you fighting for black causes, like we do over here. Whenever
part
one of
of
your
it.
people kill one of ours, we always have to bring it up. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Kind of like what we do over here, and that's what I think. I think being pro black is just more fighting for black people and what we deserve. But when it comes to who you're partnering with or who you sleeping with, I don't think that really has an issue. Now, if you're trying to be pro black and you're saying I'll never date a black woman or a black man, then no, 100% you cannot be, right? But if you're not like one of those people who don't care about or saying like, oh, if I date a black woman, if I find one, I'll date one, whatever, then I think you could still be pro black. But if you're against it, then yeah, I'd have an issue with that.
I just want my nice little nieces to grow up in a world where people aren't going to question them because they're only half white and, half Indian, right? Like,
well,
I was raised one way, but I've learned to
I
get
just
out
want
of
them to
that.
grow up in a good world.
I live that life. I live where my daughter dated a white guy. When she found out she had a black stepdad, the whole thing changed. I've seen that. My oldest daughter is in interracial marriage too, and I have fears for my grandson just been born. I'm like, damn, he's gonna go through some shit. So I'm just, it's a reality. I mean,
I know.
That's what it is.
But you see, and like Dandelion said, and this is why I think a lot of white people are worried, is because races are mixing now at a higher rate than they have ever been, right? And a lot of white people are scared that at one point they're
That's one
going
of
to
the
lose
good
their
things about
dominance.
millennials, man. They don't seem to care.
That's good.
That's the one.
I love the younger generation, man. They're awesome.
Some of them awesome.
It's going to be an awesome world going forward. Sorry, Shifty. I know you were questioning the next generation, but you know what? We always question the next generation. All the shit we say about kids these days, adults said about us when we were kids. So I think they'll be fine. Probably be better than us.
I don't know. I'm in a profession now where we are, scraping the bottom of the barrel is it is tough.
I know.
There was a time when people was knocking at the door. Yeah. Now, man, I'm telling you, and the ones we have to hire are. So I don't know about that, but maybe the world, but that particular part of the world, I don't know.
Maybe that's what will force them to reevaluate policing, right? Like they just can't get people to want to be police anymore.
Even with good raises. I mean, we got a fantastic raise. And you're like, nope.
And Grown Folk City said, I thought pro-black means you love and will fight for your own. Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it should have anything to do with who you go to bed with at night. If you waking up and you fighting for the cause,
No, but
you know what I mean?
your extreme pro-black who are just
That's say because
pro-black.
yeah. There is the extreme. I agree, but I still don't think you can. I still think you can be pro-black and date outside your race.
Well, look, growing up, I didn't date very many black girls, and I could tell you honestly, they weren't very nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
and you know, if I dated a black girl more times than not, she was mulatto.
Mm-hmm.
She was mixed, so I felt like there was a shun, there was like a hatred because I'm light skinned, and you know, we can talk about racism amongst blacks. It's just as bad as the other racism.
I'm
Because
gonna
it's
tell you
there.
this.
You know it's there, right?
It ain't bad as it used
No,
to be.
but it's there.
No, and I'm gonna tell you this, Roberto, and I think, especially when it came to us darker ones, you were the pretty boy. You know what I mean? You had
see,
the
it's a
long hair,
stigma, right?
Yeah, you had the long hair and everything, and yeah, we don't like pretty boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was
You know?
gonna definitely hate it for pretty boys. Oh my god!
Yeah,
I ain't
always
never
have.
seen nothing like.
Yeah,
We
always
know Nzo owns the hater title, right, Daddy? We know he owns that title, so it comes to no shock to anybody that knows him. You know what I mean? But we take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is.
He's talking about
White
Steph
people are a
Curry.
minority in the
He
world.
was like
pretty boy looking
with the
motherfucker.
green
Yes.
eyes. I'm like, wow.
Yes.
Not to mention
Yes.
all the hours this man put in to learn his craft, but he worried
Yes.
about pretty boy. Boy, I tell you.
I
ranges.
hated
ranges
the pretty
all
boy.
across the board.
Oh my god, I hated the pretty boy. And I remember there was this one dude. Oh, I couldn't stand this fucking pretty ass motherfucker, bro.
Probably because he get more girls than you.
He took one for
ding, 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 ding. Probably stole a girl he was interested in.
You know,
that's why.
You know, in high
Just
school,
take an event, Daddy.
the girls love the pretty boys. Girls love the pretty boys. The pretty boys and the bad boys.
Yeah, that shit bothered the fuck out of me.
I always liked the weird boys, like the weird geeky dudes, man.
No,
but hey, no. The geeky dudes are in now, right? They are in now. Like
back in
girls love
the
It
day,
didn't really matter. Nobody was interested in me when I was in high school.
You wanted the jock, the pretty boy, or the bad boy.
Bad boy.
One of those
yeah.
three.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah,
I'm always like interested in people for themselves. It's never like because they look like this or because they do this or whatever, right? Like I like to have common interests.
Do you see my slogan? Keeping it real since '65.
Yes,
I
sir.
keep it real.
See,
Either you like me or you don't. That's it. There's no
Did you read mine there, Roberto?
I think I gotta change my glasses.
No, so that disturbance in the voice, the
It's
force
just
you've
like
heard about.
one long thing I just see there.
Yeah, it says that disturbance in the force you've heard about.
Oh,
yes,
nice.
I agree 100%. The black.
I like that.
I used to live by that, right? But here, them pretty boys, man, they were and when we were in high school, them pretty boys were taking life, man. They were getting them all. Them pretty ass motherfuckers hated them all. You know what I mean? We were the ones in the cab playing the dominoes and shit, and just wilding out.
But you know, in school, man, you gravitate toward the light skin, pretty hair.
Yeah, right. And again, Donnie, you know why that is? Because again, I go back to media. That's all they ever showed us.
There was no media back then.
No, I'm not talking social media. No, I'm not talking social media. I'm talking about like TVs and movies and stuff like that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You never really got.
Because you remember a time when skinny was the thing.
Yeah.
Skinny models.
And then J-Lo came out.
And now you want girls to thick buttocks, the hips, and all that kind of stuff. So
J-Lo changed that.
I am not upset about that.
Then 1 year, the one time it was like breasts, and now it's like ass and stuff. I mean,
Lululemon.
I hear that the butt thing is on the decline again now. Who knows what'll come next?
No, butt ain't on the decline.
I know.
I ain't never gonna be on a decline.
All I've ever had was the booty. So what can I say?
That works.
I went fishing one time, man, and I was like, I know. I was fish with a buddy of mine, and he listens to country music. And I was like, oh God, I gotta be in this water
Was JG trying to say something?
for like 4 hours.
Oh no, my power went out. Storm.
Okay.
It might go out
Go ahead.
again.
Go ahead,
And
Danny.
every song was about fucking a woman in blue jeans. Like, is that all country people sing about blue jeans? Oh my God, it was
Don't they
terrible.
also sing about like pickup trucks and beer?
No, it was like I'm going partying, yeah, drinking some beer and watching some blue jeans. Every song, I was like, oh my God, this is gonna drive me crazy. All 4 hours of that shit.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying because, and like I said, it's the stigma, Roberta. Because when we were growing up, right, Apollonia, we had Vanity. It was
Sheila
always
E.
light skin. Yeah, it was always the light skins that they showed. And then when they showed a dark one, it was Grace Jones.
You like, no,
no.
You like,
go grab a sweater.
Okay.
Oh fuck, that was a good one.
And you see Grace Jones, you like, no.
You know what I mean? And nobody can tell me.
She got with James Bond, yo.
She did.
Ain't no way.
But no one can tell me.
They must have put a lot of money in his contract, buddy.
For real. And Danny, and Roberto, you guys may agree with me with this. Nobody can tell me that when they watch Purple Rain, they did not pause that Vanity scene where she's in the black lingerie.
Apollonia?
You can, Apollonia, my bad.
Oh, of course.
You can't tell me that scene did not get paused.
And I pause all the time. Billy Bob Thornton.
She was my top for a very long time, yo.
Boy, he's my hero.
Too.
Like, how the hell did he do that?
You know?
Billy D back in the day, right? It's always the light-skinned ones. Now the dark-skinned brothers are getting some shine. Idris Elba, you know what I mean?
Yeah, them ladies
Jonathan Majors.
Them ladies are thirsty over Idris Elba, boy. Oh my God.
I know.
It is ridiculous.
It's his accent.
Absolutely. Make Lake Minnetonka. What's that from, Mike? I remember that.
That's from Purple Rain.
Oh yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah,
when
right.
He had to bathe in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Lake Minnetonka,
And have food. I think she good out there. She had on like nothing but a drawers, wasn't it?
I didn't think she had that on. I can't remember.
No, she had on them drawers, bro.
Grown folk city, you are crazy as hell. You said Grace Jones is beautiful. I don't know what you smoking, but you need to send it up and let Nzo and Roberto take some of that, boy, because that shit got you on a different planet.
Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
And
I know. I know when I was growing up, like I wasn't looking at Grace Jones, and she was in one of my favorite movies, Conan the Destroyer, and
she looks so fool when she's fighting him. Oh my God!
I'm like, man, put Apollonia in that scene, and I tell you that movie in my collection.
That'd been a whole different movie.
I like a strong woman. What can I say? I don't know. I don't mind that.
She ain't had no breasts. She had no butt. No.
Skinny. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Bulging her eyes out all the time.
Danny. It was gorgeous, glorious. Absolutely, 100%.
Apollonia. I think Apollonia died, didn't she?
Yeah.
Apollonia?
I believe
she did.
Yeah.
I know Vanity did. Apollonia did too.
Maybe it was Vanity.
Maybe it was Vanity. Yeah.
Was it Vanity or was it Apollonia?
Vanity's dead, but I didn't know Apollonia was dead.
That played in The Last Dragon.
It was Vanity.
Yeah, I think she's gone.
And I loved Vanity in that movie. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God! I'm like, yes.
You look like a master to me. Yeah, I'm gonna show you.
Oh no, Action Jackson, bro. Action Jackson. Trip down.
Oh yeah. I forgot about her in Action Jackson. Yeah, bro. Because there's a scene.
Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Don't they show titties in that scene? Or
they show hers. I know that.
Yeah. Oh, we went way for her guys on that one.
We went way.
Apollonia's still alive. Okay, good. Grown folk city is laughing. Anyways, guys, we're hitting the 2 hour mark. Thank you, everybody, for popping in. I do appreciate it. We're going to run through this panel real quick. Dandelion, where can they find you?
I guess you could find me on Instagram if you really wanted to. I post like pictures of like mountains and art that I've done. That's kind of it. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't really do YouTube. Mostly, I prefer to hang in chats, but then every now and again, I force myself onto a panel.
Facts, Tony.
So I'll say this, yeah, Angela Bassett, but she came later though.
Yeah.
I can't remember when she came in, but she came later than like Vanity and Sheila
It
E.
was,
too. We can't forget Sheila E. too.
Kindergarten Cop, I think, it's the first time I saw her.
Sheila E.
I
never
think
did it.
before that.
She was just talented.
Who? Angela Bassett?
Sheila E.
Oh.
She never really did it for me sexually. She was just super talented on them drums, man.
I don't know. She did it. She did it for me, man. And when she's in
Apollonia
that,
just had my heart, man. I couldn't see anybody else.
My theory was Sheila. Well, Apollonia first, then Vanity, and then Sheila E. Because I remember her from the Crush Groove movie, and I had a crush on her back then. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah. I can't even lie.
How old were you then, Anzo? How old were you then?
I don't remember. What year did Crush Groove come out? Hold on, let me see.
That's the 80s, no?
Man, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Vanessa Bell Calloway that played in Biker Boys. Oh, she is.
Biker Boys. I remember the
she
movie.
was the kid's mama.
Shit. Crush Groove came in 1985.
Damn.
So I was 11
years old. That came out.
I was 11 years old.
Look at you, started young.
You know what I mean?
Rest in peace to
Sheila E. She's gonna be the next Storm. Angela Bassett's too old to play Storm. They're gonna get someone young. Actually, hold on. Let me bring up. This is, and I have it on my phone, but I'll bring it up because this is what I want Storm to look like. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Danny, shout out your channel where they can find you.
On Danny AK Comment Chat, you can find me on Chaos Central Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on one of the 3 shows that we have. You can also find me on the Wednesday night show with Guy Scar at the Hangout on this show from time to time. Also on the Roundtable of the Bad Batch. I think we're doing episode 11. Should be coming up here pretty soon. It came out last night. And I think I'm going to be doing the Mandalorian Roundtable as soon as Anzo hook me up with the intro. That should be coming here in the next few days. And Sunday nights, 10 p.m., you can catch me on Storms Live.
What day you planning on doing it on Sundays too, Danny?
Say again, Roberto?
I said it sounds like you're doing your 4 nights again.
No. Because
a lot of shows, man. When you put it all that in one day.
Because usually I don't come on here when y'all cop bashing, so that ain't gonna happen. It's every Monday night from 9, either my show or Anzo, so that's only one night a week. Then Rob, he does it sporadically. So, hey,
Did you say you're doing the Mandalorian roundtable?
Yes, ma'am.
Cool.
Yeah,
Are you gonna do it on Sundays too, Danny?
Whatever's good for the people, it don't make me no difference.
I got you.
I would love to do it that night, but that would interfere with this show. So,
damn.
This is what I want my Storm to look like.
Man, I gotta do more squats.
What do you think, Danny?
Wow.
Shit, some arms on her too, yo.
Let me see some ones in the chat if you guys think that's what Storm should look like.
Jesus Christ.
Should we?
Oh yeah.
Should we get a Storm like that in the MCU? Throw some ones in the chat real quick, cause
I need to see another view.
The back view.
I need to see her.
I don't know, man. I'm betting you could bounce a quarter off that booty.
Oh my God!
I'm sure.
That's gonna she could like crush walnuts with that booty. I bet.
Bounce more than a quarter. I can tell you that.
20.
Put links. I appreciate you, grown folks. The links are in the description. You'll see Comic Chat over there. Roberto doesn't really have a channel, but there are other channel members that I support, and I'm usually on their channel as well. And I appreciate all the support, man. I'm glad you had a great time.
This is Vanessa Bell Calloway, bro. God, that's whew,
okay. Yeah, she's fine. She's fine.
Shot.
So
that could be Storm.
Here's a question before you bounce. Right, I'm gonna ask Danny this. I don't know who Roberto's is, but Danny, Maya comes to you. Right. Let's just say
yes.
You
Yes. Yes.
He didn't let me finish.
Yes. Yes.
No. Hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
You are Wait. What's the boo for, Grown City? What's the? Oh, you don't like that Storm? Really? Is that what it is?
Who?
So she comes to you.
Who said boo? Is that crazy?
Grown Folk City. Let me hear what you think.
It's the same one who said Grace Jones is beautiful, no?
Hell, Mike gave her 0. Are y'all crazy?
Oh, Mike gave it 0 too?
Yeah, y'all crazy.
Shit, really? Why?
I give her 11.
Because she's too muscular?
I give her 11. I give her 111. I give her 1,111. 11,111. Shit, she get ones all the way across the board.
So, Danny, the question is, and Roberto, which actress or actor, like female, that you think is really hot, like you have this huge, like you like?
That's Maya, bro.
I know Danny's Maya.
Maya's the perfect.
Do you have one? Do you have one, Roberto?
What's her name?
So think about that. Let me ask Danny a question.
Latin chick who used to do a whole bunch of movies with Antonio Banderas.
Oh, Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek. Something about her, man.
She's nice.
Something about her.
I like Charlize Theron.
Who?
She's nice too.
Janelle Monáe for me.
Oh, Charlize Theron?
Yeah.
She ain't aged well, though.
I just think she's a really awesome actress.
She was younger? Yeah, she was fire.
So here's the question. That woman comes to you today and says she wants to spend the rest of her life with you.
I gotta get my wife? No.
Roberto?
Are you kidding me, man?
Okay, so it comes
trying to beat a brother up on live YouTube.
No.
She said she would be a side piece on the side for the rest of her life.
No. She
like,
says.
I'd say I'm really flattered, but I'm happy. I'm sorry.
She says. Everything she has is yours. So her wealth and everything is yours. You never have to work again. If you want to create your own business and do whatever you want to. I don't know.
I don't put a pause in there. I'll make a little side clause with the wife. Babe, I'll be gone for a minute. I'm coming back rich.
Oh my god.
That's kind of like
telling you, I'm coming back.
What was that movie where the man gave $1 million to sleep with his wife?
Indecent Proposal.
That's something like that. Oh shit.
Yeah. But you see, that was just $1 million. She's saying
was just
now,
one night.
You come with me, and I will
make
sure all your dreams come true.
I can't do that for 27 years. Now, it's been the first year of marriage. Oh, yeah, I'm out. Bye. 27, I can't do it.
I feel you. I don't know, Roberto. I can answer. JG?
Man, it's only been 5 for me. I'm going for it.
Wow.
That's the thing, right? You don't really know this person. Like, they might look really hot, but maybe they're crazy, right?
That's why I was putting, and I completely skipped. That's why I was putting the stipulation, like, because Donnie's a cop, right? So he's doing security for Maya. So he's around her constantly and sees that she or whoever you like is just as good of a woman as maybe your wife was.
Oh, that's tough.
That's what I'm asking, right? You know that this is a good woman. Like, she has the same morals and values of everything that your wife has, but now she got the point where she can take care of you and make all your dreams come true.
I have to do that dead night and never come back to my home again. Never.
What was that movie Hall Nights?
We can never come back to this place. We can never come back to this place again. That's the only way I can do it.
Harlem Nights, Danny. Harlem Nights.
Yep.
JG. Hello. I ain't coming back.
Hey, put your mom on the phone. Hey, put your mom on the phone. Hey, have a good life. I ain't never come back home.
I personally, I think I'm on JG's level where I'd be like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go over here for a minute. I don't know. It's kind of fucked up to say, but I'd probably be on that level.
I'll make it a business trip. That's all.
Maybe just explain
every
to your
week.
current girlfriend or wife.
Daddy went for cigarettes and never came back.
I ain't lying. I don't even smoke.
No, discuss it with your partner. Maybe they'd be down with it.
That's
Like
a
with your current
possibility too.
partner.
That's a possibility too. You
Right?
might have a wife that's down to have, you having an ex. But what if the person like Maya or whatever somebody didn't want?
Ooh, boy, Lord, never put that in my.
Well, I bring it up because we know it'll never happen, right?
Yeah.
But with that being said, guys, it was a great show. Thank you, everybody that came into the chat. Sagi Melons popped in. Mike from Rogues Comic popped in. Eyes Only. Who else did we have in here? Jason Lee popped
Murder
in.
Hornet.
Drake Bell.
Never heard of
Murder
that.
Hornet. Tony Robinson popped in here. Hope I ain't missing everybody. Grown folks, absolutely. Abu Naz popped in here to say respect. I appreciate every one of you that come in. Shifty Gizm, thank you for popping in. It's always a pleasure. Black Parco, thank you for coming in too as well. Make sure to check us out. We will be back next week with another fire episode. Maybe I'll figure out something to get us canceled again. Who knows? But with that being said,
if this didn't do it, I don't think nothing will.
Peace, love, and hair grease. See you on the next one, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Later.
Thanks for coming.
Safe and sound.
Sorry about that. I seen a message from Mike. Mike wanted me to show this. I got to show it on the screen real quick for you guys. I do apologize. Mike sent it to me, and I was like, you know what? Hold on, I got to pause this stupid video.
Yeah, I'm shocked she didn't sing that at Super Bowl.
What's that?
I'm shocked she didn't sing that at Super Bowl.
Sing what?
Left behind.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's Rihanna?
Yeah, that's Rihanna. Yeah, that's Rihanna. Where is it? Twitter, right here. No, not here. This one. All right, guys. I'll show this real quick and then we'll bounce. Sorry about that.
Oh my Lord, yes. That's Wonder Woman.
This is why I'm hot.
What it said? God, yeah. She all right. Mm.
That works.
She got a little horse.
I want to hear what you think, Roberto.
Yes.
He is solid.
Hold on. One question. One question before Roberto goes, because I don't really know this. Do you like when they kind of muscular, Roberto?
I work out. How could I not?
Okay, no, I know. But some guys like them petite.
Even the one before that you posted up before, she's not too muscular. She's just right.
I got muscle up women, man. Shit. Hell yeah.
I'm muscular, but it's insulated.
Nice.
Later, guys.
Keep me close. Safe is